Hey you guys, welcome to my station, Chats with Flo. Today's video is going to be about changing your thoughts, change your life. And yes, it is important to be aware of how the way that you're thinking, how the way that you think about yourself, and just think, period. Because in order for you to do what God created you to do, you have to change your thoughts. And you have to believe that you can do it. The way you think does affect your life, and that's why you want to be careful about how you think. Your thinking shapes your life. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 steps that you can take to train yourself to think differently. So make sure you stay tuned. Number 1, pay attention to what you're thinking about. It's so easy to think negative thoughts, especially about yourself. Train yourself to focus on positive things about yourself. I used to work in retail management in the clothing industry. And I can remember whenever it was time for me to learn something new, that I would always panic. And I would always feel like I couldn't do it. And I remember my manager, she told me, she said, "Florence, you always do that. Whenever it's time for you to learn something new, you always say that I can't do it. And you end up doing it better than anyone else." So once she told me that, it stayed with me. And I started watching the way that I react and how the way that I respond whenever it's time to learn something different. So once I paid attention to my behavior, and whenever it was time for me to learn something new, instead of saying that I can't do it, I told myself I can. And I also would tell myself that if the next person can learn it, then I can too. Being that I changed the way that I thought, which changed my behavior, and it also changed my outcome. Have you ever had an altercation with someone? And if you think back to what happened before you got into that argument with someone, most of the time, the reason why you end up getting into an argument with someone is because of the fact that you thought about the situation first. And every time you would think about it, you would start getting mad and even more upset each time you thought about the situation. So what happens when you see that person, most likely you're going to have a bad attitude. And if something happened to where if that person may just react or say something to you, you just go off on them. And the reason why is because of the fact that you thought about it. And then you begin to plunder. And the more you thought about it, the more upset you would get. And then you will start imagining what you're going to say to that person when you see them or even do. So the same energy that you get from when you think something really negative, because it builds up inside of you and it does make you angry. Take that same energy and start thinking positive things, imagining positive things happening in your life. And if you plunder about it, and then you can start writing it down, even talking about it. If you talk about it enough and think about it enough, you're going to do it. Number 2, train yourself to think positive. Instead of saying that I can't, just tell yourself that I can. Tell yourself that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Proverbs, the 4th chapter and the 23rd verse, it says to guard your heart. It determines the course of your life. You may wonder, how do things get into your heart? They get into your heart by your thinking. And for some reason, it's so easy to hold on to negative thoughts. So monitor your thoughts. What you think about, you do become. Number 3, move forward. Don't get stuck in your past. The reason why your life hasn't changed is because you live in your past. All you have to do is just let it go and move on. Every book I have read, there's always a beginning and always an ending. And just imagine if you were reading a book and you got into maybe the mid part of it and you got stuck and you was not able to see what happened at the end. So just take that same example with your life. Whether if something happened to you, whether it was sickness or a career change, you may have lost your job, or a relationship, or you may even have lost a loved one. You have to find a way to deal with it. And one of the main things that you can do is just pray. Read your Bible about scriptures that talk about forgiving. Ask God to help you to let it go. You won't be able to move into the next chapter of your life until you let it go. God has something marvelous planned for you. But in order for you to be able to receive it and to do what He created you to do, you have to learn how to let it go. Over the years, I have talked to many women. And when I hear them discuss something that happened to them in their past, you can hear the hurt. And also you can hear the bitterness in their voice. But I challenge you to give it to God. Some things you won't be able to do on your own. And that's why in the Bible it talks about when you are weak, that's when He is strong. So just let it go. In order for you to receive what God has for you, and in order for you to complete the purpose that He created you for, you have to let it go and move forward. Ask God to renew your mind and to help you to think differently. Every so often, thoughts are going to come to your mind from things that happened in your past. But you have the choice to think about it differently. For example, like with me, whenever I think about something that was heartbreaking, that was devastating, instead of thinking negative about it, I always thank God. I tell Him thank you. I tell Him thank you for being my Savior. Thank you for bringing me out of that. Thank you for deliverance. Thank you for your peace. I have learned that the harder the trial is and the longer the season is when you are going through, God will give you beauty for your ashes. You will come out even stronger. I went through the most difficult time in my life a couple of years ago, and that season lasted a couple of years. And I just want you to know that I am so thankful for that. Because without it, God would not have been able to put on the inside of me that I was lacking. What I gained from that is He gave me courage. He gave me strength. He gave me a desire to want to reach out to other people, to help them. He put something on the inside of me to where I want to tell others how that if you're weak, if you lean on God, He will give you strength. And He will give you more than enough. You will be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. But the key is you have to give it to God. You can't do it alone. in the Bible, it talks about how that come to me, all ye who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. To take my yoke upon you and learn of me. My yoke is easy and my burdens are light. Some things you're going to go through in life is going to be too difficult for you to handle. And that's when you lean on God. Once you lean on God, He's going to give you a peace on the inside. And your whole mindset will change. And you will also know that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Those who are called to His purpose. Those who are obedient to Him. If you may wonder, so how should I think? In the Bible, it tells us to think about what's uplifting, what's noble, what's true, what's admirable. Think about things that make you feel good. Think about things that give you joy. Think about something in life that you want to achieve. Write it down. Make plans for it. Think about that throughout the day. If you're thinking about it enough, then you're going to find a way to do it. Everything that concerns you, everything that bothers you, it concerns God as well. Continue to pray and just believe. Call those things which be not as though they were. Life is short, and every moment does count. So instead of wasting your time and thinking about negative things that happen to you, or bad things that could happen to you, think about what's good, what's true, what's noble. In order to change your life, you have to change your thoughts. And you do that by, number 1, pay attention to what you're thinking about. Number 2, train yourself to think positive thoughts. Number 3, move forward. I hope this video was a help to you. If you went through some dark seasons in your life, or if you are going through one, leave a comment. Click on the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell. That way you will know whenever I have a new video. May God bless you. And thank you for tuning in.